Hello and welcome to ATI 4448, and this is the second part of chapter 1 where we continue talking about the project, the program, and the portfolio. The organizational planning impacts the projects by means of project prioritization based on risk, funding, and the organization's strategic planning. So each project has its own priority, and based on that, you will see some of the projects being executed before the others are being supported uh, and provided with a certain budget before other projects. So when we say what's the difference between a project, program, and portfolio? Let's start with the portfolio. The portfolio refers to a collection of projects or programs and other work that are grouped together to facilitate effective management of that work to meet strategic business objectives. So it's a bigger picture for the project, a group of projects. The projects or programs of the portfolio may not necessarily be interdependent or directly related. So some of these projects will be related to maybe one department, while the others are related to another department, and so on. So you'll find different projects, different programs within that portfolio. They are not related, maybe different resources, different budgets, but all at the end uh, meet the strategic business objectives. Portfolio management includes identifying, prioritizing, authorizing, managing, and controlling projects, programs, and other related work. The program, as part of the portfolio, is defined as a group of related projects managed in a coordinated way to obtain control that might not be available if managed individually. Let's talk about the program, the space program. The space program has related projects that can lead to each other, or the output of one can be used as an input of another one. So they are interdependent, and based on that, they achieve one goal or one objective. That's why we say that those group of projects are called program. The project may or may not be part of a program, but a program will always have projects. This figure depicts actually, or shows, illustrates how the portfolio and the program and the project are related to each other. So you can see that the portfolio is the bigger picture, where inside the portfolio there are projects that's dependent, and there are programs, and the program has projects within that program. So some of the projects are within a program, some of the projects are without a program, just lying there, but all in under the portfolio, which serves to meet the business strategies or strategic planning. The program management focuses on project interdependencies to help determine the optimal approach for managing these projects. Actions related to these interdependencies may include resolving resources constraints and or conflicts that might affect multiple projects within the program. For this, you have to balance the resources, know each resource how much percentage they are utilizing in their time to a certain project, and based on that, you schedule, balance the resource to serve the different projects within one program. Then you align organizational strategic directions that affect project and program goals and objectives to serve the overall organizational objectives. Then resolving issues and change management within a shared governance structure. Projects are typically authorized as a result of one or more of the following strategic considerations. either for market demand or for strategic opportunity or business need, such as increasing revenue, customer requests, technological advance, or legal requirements. To adapt a one-size-fits-all approach, that doesn't work. Actually, that will be asking for trouble. Your approach to managing any project must adapt to the characteristics of that project. And like we said, if each project has unique activities and complex activities, so we have to adapt with that project to be able to manage it. Classification rule can help you choose the proper approach to manage the project. So to look at the different projects, you can actually separate them into 4 different groups. Those groups depends on the risk, high risk, medium risk, low risk, the business value, the duration, the complexity of the project, the technology used, the number of departments affected, and the cost. And based on that, you can divide it into 4 groups: Type A, Type B, Type C, and Type D. Type A is greater than 18 months duration with high risk, high complexity, and breakthrough technology with a very high likelihood to have problems in the project. Type B from 9 to 18 months, which is which has medium risk, medium complexity. The technology will be current technology, and there is a likelihood to have a problem. In Type C, from 3 to 9 months, it has low risk, low complexity. Usually, they have best of their breed technology and unlikely to have any problems with that project. The Type D is less than 3 months, very low risk, very low complexity, usually use practical technology with no problems whatsoever included in that project. This figure actually depicts and illustrates how you can look at the landscape for the projects where we have in quarter 1 clear goal and clear requirements and solution. In the fourth quarter, or let's go with the second quarter, you'll see a clear goal but not clear requirements and solution. In the third one, unclear goal, unclear requirements and solution, which is the hardest. And the fourth one has unclear goal but has clear requirements and solution. So the most risky one is the projects in the third quarter, where we don't have a clear goal or a clear requirements and solution for that project. And this is a description for the 4 quarters as being stated. As projects become more complex, they become more uncertain. As complexity increases, nailing down requirements will decrease. Process flexibility must increase, and processes must be more adaptable. Change requests become more frequent, and risk increases. The need for greater team comprehensiveness increases, and more communication is needed between the team members. At this point, you need the customer to be more involved. The customer would like to be in the comfort zone, but you would like actually customer feedback to get the proper product, the proper outcome for the customer. Usually, customer may refuse to sign off because of needs change. The business value, as projects move from quadrant 1 to quadrant 2 or quadrant 3, the higher the business value, but the risk of the project failure is also higher. When dealing with the portfolios and programs, we are dealing with more projects, more complexity, maybe longer duration, and higher budget. In these cases, you will see the companies establishing project management office, which is an organizational unit that assigns various responsibilities related to the centralized and coordinated management of those projects under its domain, which will assist actually the project manager in the functions or the roles that he or she responsible for direct management for the project. We can actually summarize that the primary function of the project management office is to support project managers in a variety of ways, which may include managing shared resources. Since we have more than one project and the resources being shared, then we need maybe external office to manage the shared resources. Then identifying and developing project management methodology and the best practices and standards. If I have some of the employees that needs training, then the project management office is the one responsible for monitoring, training, and coaching those new employees or the employees that needed development and additional skills. That office is also responsible for monitoring the compliance with project management standards, policies, and procedures, and the templates that's been provided by the company or project management institution. Also, they are responsible of developing and managing project policies, procedures, and templates, and other shared documentation. So if the template is not being created, they can create that. They can add policies and procedures that address a certain issue within the new project. And of course, they coordinate the communication across projects, which will make it easier to move the information from one unit to another or from one project to another. To compare the project manager versus the project management office, you can see that the project manager focuses on the specified project objectives, while the project management office manages major program scope changes, which may be seen as potential opportunity to better achieve business objectives. The project manager controls the assigned project resources to best meet project objectives, while the PMO optimizes the use of these resources between the different projects. The project manager manages the constraints, which is the scope, schedule, cost, and quality of the individual projects, while the PMO manages the methodologies and standards overall risk, opportunity, and interdependencies among these projects. The difference between project management and operations management. Operations management are an organizational function performing the ongoing execution of activities to produce a product or a service. Operations can be production, manufacturing, accounting, etc., and operations require business process management or operations management. Projects can intersect with operations at various points during the product life cycle. At each closeout phase, when developing a new product, upgrading a product, or expanding output, when improving of operations or the product development process, or until the divestment of the operations at the end of the product life cycle. The role of the project manager. The project manager is the person assigned by the performing organization to achieve project activities or objectives. Functional manager is focused on providing management oversight for an administrative area. The operations manager runs day-to-day operations of an organization or business. And those are the different roles for or the differences between a project manager, functional manager, and operations manager. So you will see the differences when you hear these words or these concepts. You will know what do they mean by that, and what are the definitions for each one of them. Project manager characteristics is knowledge, performance, and personal skills. For the enterprise environmental factors, the enterprise environmental factors includes organizational culture, structure, and processes, government or industry standards, infrastructure, facilities and capital equipment, existing human resources, whether we are talking about skills, disciplines, or knowledge, personal administration, company work authorization systems, marketplace conditions, stakeholder risk tolerance, political climate, organizations established communication channels, commercial databases, project management information systems. All these are environmental factors that affect the environment of the project or the group of projects and can affect the outcome of the different projects within the enterprise or the organization.